This episode is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. When was the last time you reviewed your insurance policy? So it's been a while, huh? Well, no worries. My friends at the Austin Brummett Agency would love to hear from you and provide you with some amazing rates. Give them a call at 678 402 8262 or email them at abrummett@farmersagent.com. That's ABRUMIT at farmersagent.com and tell them Harley sent you. Insiders, Inside the Bubble with Harley G is now sponsored by BetterHelp. As a partner of this episode, listeners can access the BetterHelp link located in the show notes to receive 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp and get matched with a therapist who will listen and help. Go to BetterHelp, that is BetterHelp.com/inside the bubble, the link to get started. You're listening to Inside the Bubble with Harley G, the podcast for the Superwoman. Every week, we connect with amazing individuals who share their inspirational experiences and stories while motivating and inspiring purpose. It's time to hang your cape. Grab your coffee, your water, your cocktail, and come on in Inside the Bubble with me, your host, Harley G. Insiders, welcome to Inside the Bubble with Harley G. We are going to talk about just this mom life today. I know a lot of insiders, your parents, your mom on the go. We have so much we're taking care of, multiple children. And today I really want to have a conversation about what that community looks like for us. Being mothers and just managing everything that we have to manage day in and day out. It's quite exhausting. So I actually have my sister's best friend here today. So Chianna, it's so great to have you on the podcast.
I'm so excited to be
Yay!
here.
Oh my gosh. Drove all the way from Orlando just to be on the podcast, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. So anyway, she was already coming.
But hey, it still counts.
So that's but that's the story I'm sticking to. So Chianna, you're a mother of two.
They're boys, 3 and 5.
Oh gosh. Okay, so 3. Man, I remember that age. Okay, so you're mother of 2, 3, and 5. So they are fairly young and demand a lot of attention. I'm trying to remember, but I have a mental block of what my kids were like at that age. And I'm like,
crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. So you have that. Mm-hmm. You have your own business.
Yes, I do.
Wow, that you started during the pandemic.
Actually, it was the year before.
Okay, well, we may as well say.
2019, yes.
We may as well say you started during the pandemic. And you're a mother, you're a wife, you have all these things going on. So what I like to do is I typically like to take it back to the beginning. Okay, so talk to us. Let's get into your business. What was the thought behind it, and how did it come about? How'd you get started?
So I actually still have a full-time job too.
Okay.
So, but how it came about, I have 2 friends who I'm super close with. What I do for my full-time job is that I'm a partnerships manager, you could say, but I plan events for our hip-hop station at the company I work with. So I plan them, execute them, get the sponsorship, help book the artists, is everything. But the company that I work for, it's a glass ceiling, it's not.
Yeah.
You're only going to go so far, and they don't give you money for these events. I have to whore myself out to beg for money, and the sponsorship game is hard. It's relationship-based, and sometimes it just doesn't work out how it's supposed to. So when you're trying to plan experiences and you want consumer experience and fans experiences, you want them to be great.
Yes.
But when you're limited to the budget, it's just like,
yeah,
it's very discouraging. So my two friends and I were like, okay, let's start our own company because we can do small, intimate brand experiences. We can do anything as big as a music festival. So we started planning it, coming up with the name. And before I actually started working at the job I work at now, I had my own company anyway.
Okay.
But they wanted to take the events that I created under their umbrella, so they hired me, and then I just pushed out events through them.
Okay.
So when we were chatting in 2019, actually we started the conversation in 2018. And then we got everything together in 2019. We were just trying to, make it work, and it was, slow. Mm-hmm. We have these connections. You guys know what we can do, but nobody is caring to hire us, so that was discouraging. And then we started to get a little bit of movement in November. Mm-hmm. And then the pandemic hit. And literally, I created a promo run for an artist for colleges. So literally, we were on the promo run when everything was coming down for the pandemic. COVID and Corona was all this talk. But I was like, I don't care. We're hitting all these colleges, we're doing all this stuff, and as soon as we got off the road, it was just shut down.
Everything shut down.
So we're like, okay, what's gonna happen? So when my ideas come to me when I'm in the shower or sleeping. So I was in a shower and it was you need to do virtual experiences right now, but don't do them for other people, just do them for your brand.
Okay.
So my business partner and we had a conversation about it. So we're just going to bang out these virtual experiences because that's when all this virtual stuff people were just doing it all of a sudden.
DJs were having
yes.
Mm-hmm. That's when the verses started, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Versus all this stuff. So we were just our company's called Black Room Project. So everything was going to be labeled a Black Room experience. So we created Black Room the Hair Experience, which was a virtual kind of hair expo. So that was the first one we did. We did Black Room the Music Experience, which was a virtual music conference. We did Black Room the Fashion Experience and Black Room the Cooking Experience. So we have a friend who has a production company, and I don't want to say production. Yeah, she has a production company, but she also pivoted as well during the pandemic to where she created a hub or a website to where people can log into the space and have their conferences online instead of in person. So she was able to log in over 5,000 people to her platform. You log in and you enter the lobby. So it was a virtual lobby. So you see the sponsorship banners.
Yes.
You see the different rooms that you can enter and all that stuff. So when we created it, so when you logged in, there was a DJ playing live in the lobby.
Wow.
And then you can go to the main stage. You can go see the vendors. You can get your virtual gift bag because when you have a hair conference, you want your product and your stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was so dope how it was created because we had 4 influencers that spoke during the conference. I can't remember all of them, but it was the revolution of, I don't even remember all of them, to be honest with you. I know hair loss was one.
Okay. Yep.
That's all I can really remember.
Listen, that was what?
It was
3 years ago?
I can't remember them. But they were, we did one and we did a wild card, which was a financial. We had somebody talk about finances because this was during the pandemic.
Yep.
And people were unsure of how that would fit at a hair conference, but she related it to people who were creating products, people who had online businesses. She really made it work and people loved it. So, and then we had the virtual gift bag. So when people went into that room, we had I want to say curls, different brands to where you can go on to the bag, get promo codes, go to their website,
and then shop
and get stuff for free.
Beautiful.
So we created that.
Yeah.
And so it was successful to our eyes because I think we got almost 175 people that logged in. But then you have to be promoters though.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew us, so we're just hounding everybody on Instagram, sending DMs, liking stuff. doing ads, and we're just like, we had a
lot.
whole rollout for
Yeah.
it. So after that one, we did the music conference one. That one was our best one yet.
Okay.
We had people from Atlantic that spoke on the label.
Wow.
We had a VP of urban programming for iHeart Media. Like, we had heavy hitters that were on this conference. And then we had one of the rooms is where we had indie performances. So we had people pre-record performances.
Oh, wow.
And that people can go into this room and they can watch the performances.
Wow.
The way we created this stuff was, now that I'm thinking about it, I was like,
you guys are trendsetters. I mean,
Yeah.
you created a space that was not at all like it wasn't a space before. You managed to create a platform during the pandemic, which is like the hardest thing ever, to build this arena. The virtual space was there pre-pandemic, but it wasn't there, right? So it's like,
utilize it that way.
Exactly. I mean, think about Zoom now and Teams, and it's like, even now when you're having personal connections with people, like I reached out to a couple of friends last week, and we were talking, and we wanted to set up something to catch up. It's no longer, hey, let's catch up over a phone call. Now it's like, hey, do you want to send a Zoom meeting? I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, since when do we say? But it is. It's the way we have shifted now. Everything is virtual. Like, everything is virtual. Is that going to be the norm now? Like, is it people, or now is the thing going to be now that people are going to have virtual conferences versus in-person conferences? So it's like, and does one take away from another? Like, how is that? So it'll be very interesting to see how we continue to shift. Even, now, it'll be very interesting to see.
I believe it's still going to be a need, but people still want that personal interaction.
Yes.
And it's different to me from the virtual experience we created, how we created it. I feel that our clients can get instant like instant gratification and instant results, because when we set up that virtual gift bag, people were buying as they were in the conference. So they're like, bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, right.
So then we had a wine sponsor. Like, how did we have a wine sponsor? Because we created a signature cocktail with their wines, and then each panelist, when we said like natural, we said hair, they had to take a sip up. So we created the experiences with the client. And then as they're doing that, people are buying cases of wine from their website. Wow. So it doesn't, I feel virtual, it happens so fast. In person, people still yearn for that. Yes. It's more of an experience, and it's more fun when you're in person. Yes. You can still make virtual fun too, but it's just a different space. Yeah. But I think that it's still going to be utilized because it's a different way to be able to capture audiences, and it also saves a lot of money. Oh, yeah. Because when you're doing conferences,
you don't have to worry about booking the conference center,
flights, hotels. So
exactly.
It really, really just depends.
So how do you think this is going to continue to evolve? I mean, like, what's next for you? So now you've created this platform, right? You've created this experience, and I absolutely love, I'm in HR, so I love the fact that you guys are calling it an experience. That is pretty amazing. But like, even now at work, my regular 9 to 5, we're now in a hybrid space, right? Because like you said, people love having the convenience of working from home. I love it. I work from home Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. But I'm very much of a person that needs that human connection as well. And so I go into the office twice a week, right? And so to me, that's the perfect balance. I have the virtual aspect of being able to be home 3 times a week, but then I also have the ability to go in and talk and interact and engage with my coworkers. Now, thinking about the future in this hybrid space, how do you feel like your business has to evolve to make sure that we accommodate, the hybrid world that we are into right now?
Well, to be honest with you, we dropped all of our virtual stuff. Oh. Yeah, we're not.
It's done. Wow.
It was just to get us through
into
that time.
Okay.
Because if we just did nothing, then our company would have done nothing. And because of those virtual experiences, because we had to fund them, like they weren't that much, but during the pandemic when you're not making any money,
right,
you're just trying to stay relevant. You're
something,
trying to do something.
Ladies, I know there's so much to do and not enough time in the day. Trust me, I'm right there with you. But what are you doing for yourself? Well, I've recently discovered Body Bar Pilates. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Body Bar Pilates will challenge all of your major muscle groups and provide you with a full body workout. Wow. Listen, I had to check it out. I took a class with Sherelle and it was amazing. They have workouts for all skill levels, whether you're just starting out or you're just looking for a new way to move your body. This is the community for you. Check out my friends at Body Bar Pilates East Cobb or give them a call at 678-941-4371. And don't forget to mention me, Harli G.
So our friend who hosted the conferences on the platform, she didn't charge us at all.
Wow.
And she charged companies, like I think starting now it's probably like, I want to say $20,000 to host.
Wow.
And she literally charged us nothing. So because she charged us nothing, we were able to do 4 of them. We did 4 of them in a year. And the last one we did was a fashion experience. I reached out to a brand that I used to work with before I started working at my job. The brand was And One. It's a street ball brand. A lot of people know what it is.
Yeah.
And I reached back out to them like, hey, you want to be in our fashion experience? You can have a virtual vendor booth. You can sit on the panel. They loved it. So we did that. Because of me reconnecting with them, then we did influence, because we also do influencer brand activation. So we create the influencer boxes. We did a influencer box for a campaign that they had because they were launching a new shoe. So we created the box, we had the shoes in there, and then we took one of the original And One mixtapes, which was the ones that you could watch. We made them into a cassette tape.
What?
And then we put a Walkman in there.
Oh my gosh.
And then, so you could listen to it on the Walkman, and then we put an anniversary Slam magazine with And One on the cover. We put that in the box, and then I think a t-shirt, and then I always have a vendor make like handmade cards. I remember I told you that before.
Yeah.
So when we sent them out to about 20 influencers, and it just went crazy online.
You have a Walkman and listen.
They loved it because first of all, it's And One, so people were like not checking for them like that, like they used to. But they have a whole nother side where they still do pretty dope stuff. So when they got the sneakers, they got the boxes, like it just tons of impressions. So from there, we just were running with them for like a whole year. We helped them develop a podcast. We helped them develop a social docu-series. So we were just doing so much stuff. So because of those virtual experiences, because we didn't lay down and we kept going, we were able to create that client.
Yeah.
And then, so we worked with them all of 2021. And then this year, I've been really focused on a client that we have a Florida Department of Health, and people are like, oh, so boring. Like,
it's not sexy.
It's not sexy.
Yeah, right.
But we made it sexy.
Whoa, see? This is where the experience comes in.
This is where the experience comes in. So I've been working with this client for a few years now. And she trusts my opinion. She actually just lets me do whatever I want.
Perfect.
And that's the type of clients that I need.
Yes, exactly. That is your perfect client.
My perfect client, because her real job is that she is responsible. So I work with Talk Test Treat, which is an HIV prevention and AIDS awareness campaign. So her whole job is to make sure babies are not born with HIV in Orange County, Lake County, and some other counties in Central Florida. So which means that if she finds out that there's a woman out there that's pregnant with HIV, they have to get them treatment, they have to get them housing so the babies are not born with it. That's her main job, plus other stuff. So the experiences and all this other stuff, she doesn't have time for it. So then that's where Black Room Project comes in. So she advertises, she does everything she's supposed to do. But I'm like, we're not talking to the right audience because her campaign's geared towards more Black and brown people. if you're going downtown, if you're going by the homeless coalition, if you're just going to the same old areas and talking to the same people, and those are not the ones that are spreading the freaking virus.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people don't know that Black women are number one when it comes to contracting HIV and AIDS. We're number one. Orlando is like the third highest city in the country with new HIV cases. Black women are number one, and we make up like such a small percentage of the population.
Yeah.
So when she was telling me this, I was like, well, we need to do something different. And I pitched this idea to a record label before. Because I wanted to do this idea for either it was Super Bowl and All-Star Weekend. They didn't believe in it. So I flipped it and pitched it to her. So what we did was we invited 10 Black female influencers. They could bring a guest to a private dinner. They knew no details. The dinner, it was called, created the name Risky. Okay. They're like, Risky? Because it's because of risky behavior is why we're contracting the virus.
Right.
So I'll just call it Risky. That's it. Risky, a dinner conversation. Everything was red. You have to come wearing all red. All the decor was red. It was all just, all the aesthetics, right? So we also created influencer boxes for them as an invite. So when they got the boxes was sexy, had red velvet inside, roses, everlasting rose candles, all Black owned businesses inside. When they opened it, what did they do? Talked about it, put it on Instagram.
Here's my box.
Here's my box. I'm invited to this. So then the impressions start to build. The day of the dinner, they come in. It's red velvet, table linen, goblets, everything. They're just
everything is so pretty.
Everything is so pretty.
Yes.
Everything's so red.
And you've already built that anticipation, you know, like you've already built the excitement for them. So now it's just like, ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Koya, who is, she's also an influencer in Orlando. And she's friends with Angela Yee from the Breakfast Club. So Angela Yee was one of the guests as well. So we had about, I want to say 25 women have this conversation about HIV and AIDS. We recorded it. We had dinner. It was an amazing evening. And because of that, we generated 700,000 impressions from my client. Wow. And 48 hours, 50 people went to her website to request an at-home HIV testing kit.
Wow.
And it's just been going from there.
Yeah.
So we're able to, like I said, make things sexy for things that you don't think are normally sexy. And we have part 2 coming up in October.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah, something that people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
We're making it a conversation
exactly
piece, and we're using local influencers to drive that message because we need them. Because it's Black women like you and me, we're the ones that have it.
Yes, exactly.
And we're not having the conversation. So all of them went to their Instagram like, I was part of this amazing conversation. This is what happened. And because of them talking to their networks within the city,
right?
Then people like 50 when they were getting like nothing, 50 in 48 hours.
Yes, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
700,000 impressions.
Wow.
For a Florida Department of Health initiative
that nobody would be like who? Huh?
Yeah.
What? You know, that's absolutely amazing, phenomenal, and I only see it getting even bigger.
Oh
and
yeah,
better.
it's gonna get bigger.
Yeah. Absolutely. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. So you have literally built this business, pretty much started, right before the pandemic, and it looks like the business is growing, it's doing well. And so my hats off to you for and then for even supporting a cause like you just said, the Florida Health Department, for being involved and involving your community, which is one of the things that I talk constantly on the podcast is about building that community around yourself and building your community around where you live, your neighbors, right? Because you don't know what somebody's going through and they're right next door to you,
right?
Which is so important because it impacts you too. That's the thing. People are like, oh, it's not me, I don't care. Well, actually, it does impact you. Because it impacts your kids.
It does.
It impacts your wallet.
It really does.
It impacts your school. It impacts who your kids are interacting with. So it actually does impact you.
Yeah.
So that's huge. Because I talk about that a lot. How I feel like I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for my community. And my community is not just my neighbors in my neighborhood, but it is my support system, right? So it's like, it's my sisters, it's my best friends, it's my close friends that I call my family. Like, I just would not be able to do this if it wasn't for them. So, amazing work that you're doing. I want to shift gears a little bit and go into mommy mode, because while you're building this empire, you're building this business, you're still a mom of a 3 and a 5-year-old. And how old were your kids when you're doing all of this?
This was in the pandemic and they were crazy. So,
oh my gosh.
Sincere just turned 1. Because he's 3 now, he'll be 4, and Bishop was 2.
Wow.
15 months apart. So,
wow.
And they're crazy. I function like 0 capacity. I'm constantly like falling apart every single day.
Listen.
It is.
We need to talk about that. We need to talk about that, because that mom life is so real. It is so real. Like, and you said yours are 14. Holy moly.
Yeah, they're close.
Oh my gosh. So how did Bishop feel when Sincere came on the scene?
He was young, but I don't think he liked him because he was always slapping him in the face. Like, he literally was always slapping him in the face. We have it on video.
Oh my god, I should not be laughing. But, oh my god.
But now they just, like, love each other and they're, like, best friends. They were like, Sincere, Bishop. Like, they run around the house. And, like, he, like, slapped him in the face, and Sincere would just look at him, like,
oh my
like
god.
His head wobbly, like.
Could not hold his head.
Like,
oh my god.
Why do you keep slapping him? We couldn't do anything because Bishop.
He can't do anything. He can't move.
Bishop was not even 2, and he was just slapping him in the face.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so you need to remember that. So when he grows up, like, you're like, listen,
show him the video.
Boom. That's what we're doing. So managing, you're in essence a new mother, right? You're starting this new business. It is pandemic. Are you an extrovert or introvert? How would you? I don't want to say classify yourself,
I'm not
but
an introvert. I've never even thought about classifying myself as anything.
Right.
But I'm definitely not that.
You're not an introvert for sure, right? Okay. So you have a pandemic where people are being forced into isolation. You have 2 almost newborn babies, and you have a business that you are trying to take off. Right. What is happening?
Well, number 1, I hated my husband at the time. And he already knows this. Just constant beef.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was like, you're not helping me. And he's like, you're at home. And I'm just like, but I'm trying to work.
Listen, I heard that.
So I did not like him. My business partner, Desiree, like, she was very, very helpful during that time, because she just saw me in that element all the time. Yeah. So she helped a lot.
Yeah.
So we, like, did it together, and it was constant, like, just trying to figure it out, because nothing was happening. Yeah. Like, how do you keep pushing yourself when there's no results? Yeah. Like, well, you can't see them. Like, they're working behind the scenes, and God is, like, working them out, but you're not seeing them, so it's hard. Like, she would have to motivate me, and then I would, like, have to motivate her. And she's like, I'm not a promoter. I don't like to DM people, tell them to go to our conference. It's like, but we don't have a choice. Like, what do
we can't go talk to them.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want us to do? It's like, we have to do this. So
you both held each other accountable and inspired each other and motivated each other. And then on the kid front, you mentioned, your husband, and
like, he helps.
Yeah, but
during that time,
yes,
because he was still working.
Yep.
And I was at home. So he would be like, you're at home, but I'm just like, how do you think I'm supposed to work and take care of these babies?
Yeah, exactly. Because they're not kids, they're babies. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, it's crazy. I can't do anything. Like, at first, I was like Superwoman. Like, I was working and I was creating virtual events for, like, my full-time job, and I was taking them on walks, and I didn't gain no weight. Like, I was looking good, like, during I have pictures, so I was like,
that's the secret.
Doing it, I was working, like, walking every day, and I was like creating all these different meals. I remember I found a recipe and I made Jamaican beef
Oh wow, you're
patties
so much better than I
with
was.
like ground lamb in the Jamaican
What?
beef. Yes, I was like doing
Send me the
amazing.
recipe. Send me the recipe. But yeah, no.
And then it all fell apart.
How long did that last?
It lasted for a long time.
Okay.
It lasted
like a year.
Almost.
Wow.
No, it lasted. I would say it lasted until November.
Okay, because
so
pandemic started March
to November.
Yeah.
Like I was just like,
wow. Okay, my hat's off to you because I will tell you, I have 4, and what broke me was being a teacher. Listen.
See, I didn't have.
I literally had to tell my kids, y'all just gonna have to be dumb for a whole year because this is not. I will not go out this way. This is how I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out like trying to be a teacher to these kids, and it's just like what? And I did, and I felt like all parents were probably in the same boat. It's like, oh wow, okay, so now I get the chance to be home with my kids. I'm going to do everything. We're gonna cook. We're gonna build each other up. This family is gonna be great. And so I too had a full-time job, so was working.
You can't do that.
Listen, but you told yourself you could though. You did.
They told us we could. We did not.
Exactly. So I was just like, I'm gonna be that mom. I'm gonna be that person. So I have my full-time job. Assignments, homework assignments started coming in. Teachers started standing like, we'll work. Like they were like, we expect your kids to know this stuff. I was like, oh, okay, wow, okay, wow, okay, and all 4 of my kids have 4 different styles of working. They're in 4 different places. And so it's just, my oldest didn't have to worry about him. My second one, he knows everything, right? But it's like making him, staying on top of him for him to actually do it. Like when they were virtual, he literally slept through the whole class. He was like, I fell asleep. Excuse me, sir, that is not okay. That is not okay. It's like boring. I woke you up.
It's boring.
You were sitting in front of the computer and you slept the whole time. Like boring. That's what happened. Like literally, I was just like, oh my gosh, what's happening? My daughter, she got up every morning. Like I would wake him up at 7:30. She got up every morning. She would have her work done by 9:30. She's like, I'm not playing games with y'all because I don't want to be doing this all day. Yeah. 9:30, she was done. Everybody just waking up. Her twin, he was going to be the death of me. He was going to be that one. That was going to be like, here lies Harli Goronsky, cause of death, Bryson Goronsky. Like, that was going to be on my tombstone. I was just like, listen, I had to sit him down on the floor next to my desk while I'm working and make sure that he did his work. And then he would do part of his work, and then next thing I know, he's rolling around on the floor. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm done. Let me check. No, you're not done. I mean, it was just, I was like, and it would be hours. I was like, I don't
like, aren't you sick of this? Like, aren't you tired? Because I'm tired. Can you just do it so we can move on?
No, I was just like, oh my God. And then I was like, okay, I went to Target and I bought puzzles. Because I was like, you know what? We are going to bond. We are going to come out of this stronger. Okay, I was determined. And so I went to Target, I brought puzzles. I was like, listen, y'all gonna sit, we're gonna have recess. So I had Alexa programmed from 12 to 1. Shut down everything. Y'all going outside, you guys are gonna play. Ask Lily. Lily was here. She did 4 squares with them. I was like, oh yeah, 12 to 1, you guys are having recess. So they had recess every day. That was a struggle. Then I said,
because they need that recess.
You need to do something. You cannot be like, listen. And so then I went to Target. I brought puzzles. I brought games. And I was like, okay, from 3 to 4, it is game time. Okay, we are going to do this. So I had puzzles. And they sat down and they did puzzles. It was excruciating, but they did it. Then I brought games. I was like, we're playing Clue. And then I had and then I cooked every night. I had to cook because the restaurants were closed. And so I was like, oh, this is my opportunity to become more healthy, to feed my kids nutritious meals. And so I was like, I'm going to cook every night. So we got on that bandwagon. And it was just a hot mess. And like you said, it probably lasted until, I'd say, summertime. When the summertime came, because they went home in March. By the time summer came, I was like, y'all, it's a free, do whatever you want. Like at this point,
Can't
Don't
function
care.
This way.
Do not care. Okay? You're not gonna die. You'll be fine. And that was literally my life during the pandemic. So they're older, so they were able to just kind of at least try to be out of my hair when I was working. But
they're just
having a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old or 2 during that time, like, I don't understand how you even got anything done. Like,
I did not. That's why I said it like November came and it just went. Like,
okay,
and it stayed there
for a while. No,
it stayed there until February of this year.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. During this whole time, my husband's in the car industry. He's going to work every day because he's in this. What do you call that? You know those
commission.
You know he is with necessity. His job is
he's
whatever they call them.
Yes, some workers.
The workers that have to, like, the world does not stop for them, right? Yes. And so he did not miss a single day of work till this day, unless he's sick or something. He did not miss a single day of work. So he went to work every single day. Got up
and then try to relieve you not one day.
No. And so he's matter of fact, he was like, oh, I mean, I wish I was like some people who stayed home and work. Oh, we can trade places.
Let's trade places.
Let's trade places. Please, sir, let's do that. And I was just like, and it just got to the point, you know, you couldn't take PTO. You couldn't take time off because where were you going to go? Right. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't travel. And we got to December. So I've been going on this path, you know, since March. We get to December and he got home one day and I said, I'm going to Florida. That was it.
Oh, is that when you came?
Yes.
By yourself?
I was just like, he looked at me and he knew better than to ask any questions or blink the wrong way. Mm-hmm. I was just like,
I'm leaving.
And he was like, so, how long are you going to be gone for? I was just like, I don't know yet. I might not come back. But anyway, but I went, that's when I was like, I'm going, I need to get away. I'm done. Like, for my sanity, like, I'm not in a good place. And it's, and I literally booked a flight, came down to Florida, spent a couple of days in Miami, spent a couple of days in Orlando. But it was like knowing myself and knowing that I have gone way past the breaking point, and it was just like, it was not healthy. And I know as a mother, you can relate and you can understand to that because I had multiple breakdowns during the pandemic. What were your breakdowns like?
I don't know.
I'm not asking if you had. What were they like?
I don't know if I have. I remember one breakdown, and it was the fact that my mom and my husband kept saying, like, just act like I didn't have a job. And I was just like, I have to work. So for me to constantly have to explain that to my mom and to my husband every single time, like, it was pissing me off.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you guys, I'm working at home with them. Like, I can't work. So then I just stopped. And then I have one of my ex-coworkers, I'm still close with her. She got furloughed. And I was explaining to her, and I was like, I'm just not doing anything. And she's like, well, you earned it because you slaved away for them for like 7 years. So if you're not doing nothing right now, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you overworked.
I love that. I love that somebody is able to come and say, you absolutely deserve it. You need a break. Yeah. You don't have to do that. Like, yeah.
I was like terrible. Like, where's Chianna? No meetings. I was not going on to no virtual meetings. I was doing nothing because I couldn't.
For how long?
Until like February. February.
You were like, I quit life. Right now.
Like February, I told them like I had to restructure my position. And I've been way more productive ever since I did that. Way more productive than I have been. And I look at my numbers. My sales numbers were the best in 2020, actually. I look at my numbers because I got a really big deal because of the elections. But this year, it's like pacing better. Yeah. That I'm not doing all of that other stuff.
Yeah, but by scaling back, by just being like, by simplifying it. Yeah. Right? It's like, what what do you feel like for you that moment? What did it look like when you were just kind of like, okay, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. What do you feel like? What was the process that you had to go through to recognize that?
Well,
No,
it was two things. In
okay.
2020, our market president, because I created two virtual events that other markets wanted. Nobody's making money at this time, so other markets wanted me to handle their virtual events and were going to pay me. But my market president told me no. She's like, I need you in Orlando. And I'm like, we're not doing anything. So you're stopping my growth. You're stopping my money. You don't care. That's when the light bulb went off. Like, you don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what am I doing? So then I applied for like 80 jobs and only got one call back, girl. Like, I was applying and I was just like, this is because I'm not supposed to work for nobody. That's the reason why.
Okay.
Like, I just checked it up to that. So, and then this past January, my husband's mom passed away. And we were in West Palm Beach. We were on the way to the wake. And one of our managers wanted me to send an email to let her know how much money I have pending for next week. I didn't do it because I'm in friggin' about to go to a wake. So she texted me and she's like, hey, can you put your pendings in? I was like, no, I'm on the way to my mother-in-law's wake. And she's like, well, next time can you do it before? I was like,
okay, so clearly.
I was like, oh, no. I was like, this is the last time.
Yes.
That was the last time that I will ever let any company determine anything for my life. I was like, it's going to be the way that I want it to be moving forward because I could die tomorrow. And I'm living how you want me to live. So I'm going to live how I want to live and I'm going to move how I want to move, which is best for me and my family because I'm not operating like this anymore. Yeah. You're not going to ask me to do nothing when I have a wake to go to.
Yeah. No.
That was the moment.
So, okay. Wow. Yeah, no, so now your kids are older, a few years older, and so you have a 3-year-old, you have a 5-year-old now. How are you managing all of this? The business. I love it. I love it. Best answer ever.
Crashing every day. Even though they're in school now, so that helps. But it's too much.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to do. Like yesterday, I was like, it's just a lot to do. I'm like, I just can't. I need to get a grip. Like, if my house was in order and organized, it will help. But I'm like, I still have to work. I still have the company. Then I have to make doctor's appointments and therapy appointments. And then, oh, shoot, I was supposed to order books today. See? I got to order books.
Bing, 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 bing. Oh, my gosh, there's something I forgot.
Sign up for a 5K walk with Bishop School. And then I got to order supplies for Sincere School. Yeah. And then I have 30 boxes that are being shipped to my house right now for a conference that I'm planning for my client on the 13th. So I'm just like...
So we were actually talking about this, before we officially started recording the podcast. But we were just kind of talking about like what all is involved, like when you're traveling with kids, like the madness that happens before, during, and after traveling with kids. Right? It's like it's insane. And listen, crazy. My brothers, I love you guys, but you guys are of no help whatsoever. You do not help whatsoever. You are just like you don't help. No. I've traveled with my 4 kids before, and it's basically kind of like it's all on me. It is all on me. It's me packing them, making sure that you packed underwear. Because
I forget stuff.
Exactly. That you packed underwear for you and the kids. It is planning. Okay, where are we gonna stop on the route? I did travel with my oldest when he was a ring bearer at a friend's wedding, and we had to drive. And this is only 2 hours, but we had to drive from Atlanta to Alabama, and he was potty training at the time. And when I tell you we stopped 15,000 times because he was just like, I need to go potty. And the thing is, at that time, you don't want to ignore it because he could legit have to go potty. But then you do want to ignore it because you're like, you can't possibly have to go right now. Like, you just went 5 seconds ago. Right? And you don't want to undo the training that you've done so far. And so I'm sitting, it was like the worst. It was the worst.
It was like, rethink that next time. Because that was sincere.
Do you really want to?
We never had to stop like this. Like, Bishop was chilling. Bishop got to go potty, because he wanted to sleep. Sincere's just up, and then he's crying. Mommy, I want to sit with you. I'm like,
in the front seat.
You need to go to sleep. Like, we went late, so you can go to sleep. He's just up, and then he doesn't know how to express that he's car sick, like I mentioned. So I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that car sickness, like, I have it. Even as a grown up, it's so hard, and I can just imagine like a kid going through that. It's horrible. And so, are you a good organizer? Like, meaning like planner? Like, for me, what worked for me is that I became very rigid when it came to a schedule. Like, my kids, and fortunately, I'll be transparent. Fortunately, my husband and I were on 2 different schedules when my kids were young. So he was a police officer. And so he wasn't home to be involved in their routine, their nightly routine. So fortunately, unfortunately, it was all on me. But I became so organized and scheduled for that. That was literally my saving grace. So it was like, I got home by a certain time. Dinner was fixed by a certain time. Dinner was served by a certain time. They ate at a certain time. They took their bath at a certain time, and they were in bed by 8:30. It was just like, that was not negotiable. And I was just like, that literally was what saved me, was because like I had them on a routine, and I was not straying away from that. I was like, for me to keep my sanity, that's how I had to do it.
I think routines and schedules are needed. Like, if you don't have it, then you're going to have a very, very rough time. And you notice it, like, if I know that I'm supposed to stop working at a certain time. If I don't, then now I'm making dinner later, and it just pisses me off. And now I'm pissed off, and now everything's running over.
Yes, exactly.
Because dinner does not take 30 minutes. Whoever said that's a lie. It's either not cooked all the way in flavor. Like, dinner does not take 30 minutes. Not a good dinner anyway.
Oh my gosh! Like,
so it takes time. You got to prep it. You have, so no. So the schedule is definitely needed.
Yeah, a must-have. But then you also have to be flexible, right? Because like,
but it's like
things could just go
pop up.
Yeah, exactly.
So
especially having a regular job, and all of that. So. Yeah. So, okay. So I have like one last question for you. I can't believe this goes by so quick, right? Do you feel like you're walking in your purpose right now with what you're doing?
I think I am. Okay. That's in my prayers. I've been praying that prayer since I probably graduated from college, because what I wanted to do was not what I was supposed to do, and I didn't care. I was just like, I want to do what God wants me to do.
Yes.
So I don't have to waste a lot of time. But I feel the clients that I have are purposeful. Okay. So therefore, I get to pizzazz and do things in purpose. So if I can continue to like have clients with purpose, then I feel like I am definitely like doing what I'm supposed to do.
Awesome. Well, oh my gosh, here we are at the end of the pod. This was awesome. I love that community, that the community of mothers is near and dear to my heart, especially mothers that are superwomen like you are. You definitely are. Listen, but we're honest with ourselves, which I love. It's like, hey, we might look like we got it all together on the outside, but listen, I will go in the closet, I will close the door, and I will break down in a heartbeat, like, if I need to.
Crumbling.
So, exactly.
Crumbling every day.
Anyway, so love it. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I just love it. And insiders, I hope you enjoyed the show. Definitely follow us on Instagram. We're there on Facebook. We're actually gearing up to actually also be on YouTube. So the videos are coming soon. I'm really excited about that. But inside the bubble HG, is our handle on Instagram, and definitely we will share your information about your company, about the amazing things that you guys are doing. You definitely want to do that. And so we'll have that information with you in the comments, in the show notes, so that way you can follow our beautiful friend, Chianna Ray. And definitely make sure you subscribe and support the pod. All that information is also included in the show notes. Remember, we are dropping episodes every Monday, and meeting and having conversations with amazing people like Chianna, and just providing each other with some inspiration and motivation, and working towards purpose. So, you know what I say? There's purpose in your story. Until next time. I hope you enjoyed our show today. Hit the subscribe button and share. Share this pod with your family, with your friends, with your girlfriends, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Inside the Bubble with HG. Keep the conversation going. Drop us a heart emoji, engage with us. We would love to hear from you. New episodes are dropping every Monday on your podcast streaming platforms. And remember, there's purpose in your story.